You guys don't mind how I have my one story of when I was bouncing and somebody tried to flex on me. So
do it. Let's go.
Yeah. So Breanna, I bounced at McFadden's, both the one at 3rd Street and the one at the ballpark. And McFadden's was real close to what was the place? Finnegan's Wake.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm bouncing there the one time, and this one guy and his wife are like making an ass out of himself. I just tell him like to stop doing it, and the guy's like, "Do you know who I am?" I'm like, "I have no idea who you are. I don't care." I'm like 20, 21. And anyway, like I go to kick him out, and it turns out he's the guy that like owns Finnegan's Wake, and he's like, "You're never going to work in this town again." I'm like, "I'm a bouncer. I make $11 an hour. How much worse could it get?" Plus, I'm like graduating in a couple of years. So, I kick him out, and then at the end, he's like, let me take your number and your name. So I start giving my number. It's 567 or it's 867-5309, and he puts that on his phone. And then he's like, well, what's your name? And I'm like, it's John. And he writes that down. I'm like, Jacob Jingleheimer. As he's writing Jingleheimer's way, goes, he's making fun of you. And I'm like, of course I'm making fun of this asshole.
Yeah. Hey, but, you didn't get it when you said 8675309.
He was drunk. He was completely drunk. Yeah. But anyway, the asshole that used to own Finnegan's Wake, you did not stop me from getting a job. You'll never stop me from getting a job. So eat it.
Go eat it back. What a piece of shit.
I ran into Joel and Pete was at the one time. And I remember I didn't like serve him or anything.
Oh, you didn't serve him.
Yeah. So but I remember everyone's like, I just walked in and I'm like, wow, that guy's super tall. And then everybody's like, you don't know who that is? And I'm like, no. And like that's how I wasn't most like the players. I just was like, you don't know who that is? I'm like, not a clue.
Yeah.
But I remember the one time this like entrepreneur came in and we had like a super strict dress code, and so like you couldn't come in sneakers at all. Like it was an absolute not happening. And so this guy was wearing black spiky Louboutins, and they were like, he can't come in. I'm like,
do you know what that is?
I'm like, his shoes are like $6,000, buddy. He could come in.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, show him the bottom of your shoe.
These aren't Air Force Ones.
I'm like, does it recognize Joel Embiid? But I will recognize those shoes.
I mean, hey,
hey, you probably stopped them from losing out on a couple grand that night because somebody's wearing those shoes is throwing down pretty hard.
Yep.
Exactly. Plus, too, I mean, like an entrepreneur could offer you a lot more than a professional basketball player could anyway, right? Like as far as like if you're looking for future opportunities, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying like, basketball players can't offer anything. I'm just saying like for you, right? Like what's Joel Embiid gonna do? Teach you how to play basketball? Like this guy can teach you how to build a business from the ground up. I think that's way more valuable.
I could use a basketball lesson probably for sure, but
yeah, I think we all could. But